Hey guys, Cotton Grammar here, Assimilation Hot Seat Mashup. The first time we have ever mashed up Assimilation and Hot Seat in a massive 2-webinar event. Now, I know that this was hyped up in saying that SEO will be changed forever inside of OMG. And a matter of fact, it will. Nothing will remain the same again after today. Don't you agree, Joe?
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna change the way a lot of people look at what we do.
Yeah, this is going to give everyone the ultimate advantage. What I want to do is, guys, I want everyone to know where we're at right now, and we are in the OMG Way. The OMG Way, that is our free Facebook group. Guys, I want you to post in there. I want you to post in here, breakthrough. There we go. There we go, Joe. There we go.
Right. That is not okay. That's not okay, man.
Oh,
I
that's
got something for you for that one.
So, there you go. Uh-oh, Joe's got the sound effects going. But guys, Michael Mohanan likes it. He says he sent him that one.
You need to do some hashtags to get that thing up and out of here.
Nick says no slingshots, man. No slingshots. Oh my. It's the best.
Could be a muscular guy, right?
That's right. Guys, listen, we got about close to 600 people on this webinar. I want everyone active and excited and throwing these hashtags down. We promise not to do no Joe Marfolio slingshots. This keeps the rocks in the slingshot, is what it does. Post it. Give me this hashtag breakthroughs on here. And we'll get it going, guys. But we're in the free Facebook group, the OMG Way. Guys, if you're not in this group, and if you're new and this is your first time, we're going to slow it way, way, way down. And guys, for those of you that are new, the OMG Way is never a place where you ask questions. All we do is we use this to post in because we have Project Assimilation members, all, 1,200 of you guys in your own group. And then we've got OMG kind of age the elders of OMG and their own group. And they've got about 2,500, 3,000. So with that, guys, the only thing this group is used for is pretty much for webinars. So we can all meet to the same place and everyone can see what's going on. So that's what it is. But guys, for those of you that don't know, we have an incredible 2016 class. Hey guys, do me a favor. If you're in Project Assimilation, give me a hashtag 2016. I want you to show all the OMGers that you guys are here in strong force. You guys have been ready to learn. We've already got several income reports coming from this group. You can see them flooded in, guys. Look at all the new OMGers. It's exciting. It's exciting. And guys, I'm going to speak straightly to the new guys right now. Guys, this might seem a little over your head, but it's really not. It's going to be really easy once we get to this second webinar. Some of the things that we're going to talk about, we're going to try to mix up the questions and the answers today with some new questions and some questions from some of the older OMGers that are in Breakthrough. But literally what we're going to talk about tonight has been an undertaking of 6 to 8 months that Joe and I have been extensively testing this, probably more than any two people that I know of, to give you this information. And it's something that I feel that once you see us do it, SEO is never going to be the same again, ever. So with that, guys, God, look at all this. Look at all the new people, Joe. It's crazy.
Man, I can't believe it. It's like,
yeah.
No,
great. And, right. There we go. We got almost another one in there. But
same guy. The same guy.
Sure. Some of the announcements, guys, we will be announcing. If you are new, I will explain this for you. We did a live tour last year called the Assimilation Tour. We hit 9 cities last year from June to September. And what we do, we pick out a city, we invade your city, we tell you where we're going to be. There's no cost to this. We meet up, we network, we have a few drinks, and we have a blast. We get to know you as members. We get to meet people. This Friday, I will be announcing literally a mind-blowing first 2016 tour date, to where literally I think that you will do your utmost best to get there. And it's going to be wrapped around something pretty crazy. So that will be announced on Friday. I will post that in all the Facebook groups. Remember, any project or any assimilation tour that we do is absolutely no cost. It's free. So if we hit your city, you're more than welcome to show up. We've been known to share secrets that we normally would never share anywhere. It's a great time, isn't it, Joe?
Oh, yeah, man. We have a blast when we go there. It's great because we get to meet everybody face to face, shake hands. It really, really, if you can make one of those, you know, I think it really helps people too, man. Changes a lot of their perspective sometimes too.
Certainly. There's a lot of partnerships that's been developed, a lot of incredible friendships. I got a chance last year. It was an honor to meet thousands of OMGers last year through the tour and through OMG Live. And it was a lot of fun. So this Friday, at some point, I will announce the first 2 dates to the Assimilation US Tour 2016. And I got a feeling that you guys are going to be trying to go like mad trying to get to it. So more information on that. Guys, like I said, we're going to do an hour of Q&A. Then we're going to dive into, this is going to be, just to set you guys up, this is going to be a 2-part webinar. What we're going to go over tonight is vitally important, the foundation of what we're going to talk about, how it's going to change SEO. Tomorrow is going to be all downhill. It is going to be amazing. We're going to give you a lot of stuff tomorrow, absolutely free. You're going to get some stuff that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. And believe it or not, guys, we have a world premiere tonight at the end of this webinar. If you are a Matrix fan, we have our special guest that we've got on here with us spent thousands and thousands of dollars making this video about what we're talking about tonight. He got some absolutely mind-bending people to mimic Morpheus and Neo. You guys are going to be blown away by that. So we're going to give that world premiere video, guys. When we show you that video, please like it and comment on it. It's literally one of the most creative SEO videos I've ever seen in my life. We're going to do that right at the end of this. And right now we're going to dive into questions. So with that, we'll do a few questions. And because this is a mashup, it is Assimilation Hot Seat, we will be doing some hot seats. So we're going to get warmed up with a few questions. If you want to be on hot seat right now, type in hashtag hot seat right here in the Facebook group. Joe will be looking at that, and I'll let Joe select who he wants to bring on. So if you want to come on here in a little bit with hot seat, put hashtag hot seat, we'll bring you on. But I'm going to dive in right now and start looking at some of the questions and see what we got. Let's see here. What's my opinion on using webinars to bring in clients? Well, my question is, how are you going to get people on the webinars? So if I can get people on the webinar, I can get people to my website. If I can, so the bottom line is you've solved the age myth, that you found a way to get tons of people that are interested in SEO, which is the myth that everyone's trying to, or, the hardest part everyone's trying to do. So yeah, webinars can be used to sell it. We've used it to sell millions of dollars worth of OMG. So if it can sell that, it can sell SEO. But the question is, how are you going to get traffic to that? It's no different than speaking in public, talking about it or whenever. If you have an audience, obviously you're going to be able to sell it. So sure, if you can get an audience and do it, absolutely. Hey, Joe, will you do me a favor and bring Fletch on? He just messaged me and says he's in the audience. Let's throw him on. He can help answer some questions too instead of sitting there being a spectator. It says Cotton and Joe. How do you like the name Premier Minneapolis SEO for my new company name? It's good. I myself am a little strange where I don't like to rank EMDs. And for those of you guys that are new, I'm sorry for you guys that they're really proficient with SEO. An EMD is an exact match domain. So that's what that means. It means that the keyword that you're trying to rank is inside your like company name. I myself am not a fan of them because I think you can get over optimized pretty quickly. I like branded company names because then I can hit it with a whole lot more anchor text. I've got a lot more to work with. But there's nothing wrong with it. Joe, what do you think about it?
No, I mean I think it's okay. You know, like I'm with you a little bit. Like I don't usually do a lot of EMDs. Like my business name is Three Stage Marketing because it's a little more brandable for me.
Right.
But that name a lot of people use the city where they're at in their name, so I think it's fine.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't really like about it is if you get very, very, very big and you want to expand out like I did, now you're just stuck in Minneapolis. You've got this super powerful site. You're putting all this work into it. And it's limited to a geographical area. Versus if your site's powerful enough, you can throw up a page. I've been able to throw up pages and take number ones in cities. So that's the only downfall about using and narrowing down where you can market to is you're putting all work into one particular city instead of you can do several cities if you get your site powerful enough and put the work into it.
Yeah,
guys,
I agree with that.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, just a little disclaimer right here. If Joe and I don't know anything about Amazon, that's like asking us about MAC makeup or you're asking us the best tampon brand to buy. We just don't know. So until unfortunately, you got to show up on Liz's webinars to get all Amazon stuff. No clue. I have no idea. So I apologize for that. Liz will be running a beginner's webinar, I believe, on Saturday, and she had a webinar last night. So next one is, we're going to skip that one. When first starting out, do you recommend making the agency website first, or what do you think my first step should be? I'm a little confused on the 101 videos. Joe, I'll let you go ahead and answer that one, and then I'll fill in the blanks.
Well, I would probably, if you're going to create a website, might as well start off with at least your own company's website. One, it's good practice to even start doing your local citations, trying to get in the maps, doing your SEO, and kind of getting the feel for it before you go out and get a client. So, I think, I wouldn't let me rephrase that and say, I wouldn't get so hung up on your company website that it has to be just perfect that you don't go out and get clients until it's just perfect. I would get something up that's functional, start getting it ranked, and then go out and try to find clients. As far as the 101 section, I don't know what you're confused on, so that's kind of a hard one. We might want to bring them on a hot seat maybe.
Well, this is what I can tell him to answer his question. For one, if you watch Agency 101, that addresses exactly what he says. Just do what Agency 101 says. And then secondly, watch, I already know who this person is. He's not in the beginners group. But we did a beginners, if you go back and watch an August assimilation, we went over the top 10 ways of how to make money inside of OMG. So technically, Monday night on one of the beginners webinars, I showed everyone how they could get up a website in less than 10 minutes in GoDaddy for $12 for the website and the hosting. So ultimately, you should get your website up first. You can start tinkering around with it, kind of having something where Greg can, when you're watching Greg's videos, you can work with it, things like that. It's very easy to do. For those of you that are brand new, what I encourage you to do is just go to GoDaddy, get their hosting there. You can get it right now with a coupon for $1 a month and just put it on GoDaddy hosting and get your website up. And then follow Greg and just kind of make changes along the way. That way you've got kind of a canvas to work with to go back and forth. And then go to Agency 101 and it tells you exactly what you need to do to get your agency website up and going and things that you need to look for. So we will move on to the next one. Let's see. right here. It says, Fletch, I'm going to give this one to you because you love these kind of things. It says, so my PBN ranks higher than my money site. Just make me realize that I wasted a lot of money. So what should they do?
I'd put an offer on the PBN. I don't think that's wasting money if you're ranking.
Right. Exactly.
It just lets you see the power of links and age, which is the main reason we buy PBNs. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that. That happens a lot for me. And if you want to continue building links to your money site, after the second or third link, likely the money site will outrank that original PBN. But certainly nothing wrong with ranking for a keyword and getting some traffic to that PBN. Hint, hint. That's a good thing. So you didn't mess anything up. That's a lot of people in SEO that have been here for a long time would be very envious of that situation.
Absolutely. Sure. So it's really not a problem at all. It says, could you clarify the danger of only changing anchor text? Joe or Fletch, do you want to go over that one? But not I can.
I know Greg he actually talked about this last year, I believe, that it's kind of like a signal. If you just change an anchor text, it's a pretty good signal to Google that it's a PBN, and it's a good chance your PBN's going to get de-indexed, or you're going to see some negative things happening.
Sure. Just imagine this, guys. You shouldn't have control over what's ranking to you. If someone sent a link to you, you shouldn't have control over it. They start seeing changes happen. It does send a red flag to them that something's going on. So it says, should the cut 2016 be in the sentence? No. Let's see what we got here. Do you recommend, Fletch, it's going to be a question for you. Do you recommend Genesis Director's Cut theme over any other non-web design background?
No, not necessarily. Director's Cut has some built-in SEO functionality that has already been built into it that comes down to a few things that you can do with schema, but those can be added to any other theme as well. And unless you make use of those elements, which most people don't, it's not going to give you necessarily any benefit over a different theme. So don't get hung up on picking that theme. Just pick a theme you like and use it, and then grow with it. You can change any theme almost to what you want to have eventually. There are some SEO benefits built into Director's Cut, but they are slight. And doing everything else well, you'll not have any problems with ranking with anything you pick.
Great. And then the next question is, I won't name any names here. We will do, they want to know why they paid to get an OMG if they can get this in the free group. Because, guys, I'm not answering one question from this free group. Coaches do not answer questions in this free group. People that are posting questions that you see in the background are going to get ignored because we don't do anything in this free group besides post hashtags in it and let people see responses that we can see. That's it. This OMG Way group is nothing for announcements. If you notice up here at the very top of my thing, look how generic I was. Sign up in your members area. So if you want to know why you bought OMG and why you're not in the free group, I hope that clears it up for you. So if you want to post your questions in this free group, we'll just ignore them all day. That's what it's for. So with that, we will see some more questions here. Another one, you've got a lot of these. We're asking questions in type 1 here. It says, hey, Joe, the Yelp issue is finally fixed, gone. Removed from the SERPs, my client with a negative review. Thanks for your help. So they're saying that your lesson has helped them out.
Oh, great. Good.
Right. Let me get down here a little bit. Are we coming to Europe this year? I don't know. People want to know, where's the weirdest place that you have signed a client, Fletch?
That's kind of caught me off guard here. Starbucks, I've signed a couple clients. I don't know if that's weird. Airplane.
Yeah.
Other things I can't really mention. Yeah.
Sure. Joe, what about you?
I'm pretty boring, man. I signed a client to my slippers and robe once. It was over the phone. So, that's a true story. It was when I first started. It was a guy in New York and I was in California. Other than that, I don't have any good stories.
Great. Mine would have to be in the parking lot of a Best Buy. So we were admiring our cars and started a conversation and got a deal right from it right there. You get a deal anywhere, guys. Got to keep your eyes open. Always remember, be looking for money. Always looking for money. It says, new to OMG, I fancy learning SEO, but I'm scared that I have no technology skills. I don't really know how to build a website. I don't know anything about SEO. Can I still do it and expect a decent return within a few months, or should I start Amazon with Liz? I've heard that Amazon is more straightforward. Without being controversial, and I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if President Obama comes on here, if Jesus, if anyone. The fastest way to make money in OMG is SEO. You can get a client tomorrow and you can be making money. You don't have to know anything. You can see it in the new group right now. What I'm saying is I didn't know how to build a website. I didn't know how to put up any WordPress site. I knew nothing about SEO. And 2 years later, look at where I'm at right now. I know Fletch was in a similar position. We all have to start out learning nothing. So the thing with Amazon is you're going to run out of scanning books sooner or later. I mean, you're going to run out of scanning books. Then guess what? You're going to have to go to China. You're going to have to spend several thousands of dollars worth of stuff. You're going to have to put it up on Amazon, and you're going to have to sell it. Now, can you make a lot of money at Amazon? Yeah, but you're hearing a lot of gross numbers also, not a lot of profit numbers. I make $600,000 a month profit. I don't make $600,000 a month gross. So, when you hear a lot of these numbers that are 8 million, when you start chopping down what they're really making, probably about $50,000, $60,000 a month. So with that, guys, I'm telling you, the fastest way in OMG, if you really want to get started, is watch that beginner's webinar that we did on Monday. We showed you how to get a website up in 10 minutes. Follow Greg's stuff to a T and start. We're going to focus on next week at that beginner's webinar. We're going to start focusing on how to get you out and getting clients and start focusing on you, how you can score clients quickly. And we're going to go over that a little bit next Monday. So I hope that helps. Fletch, can you also let them know what your skill level was when you joined OMG?
Yeah, I was really good at playing video games, and that was about it. I had built a website for my construction company, and I played around in WordPress, but the site that I built didn't rank. Nobody else ever saw it. That was pretty much the extent of my skills. I'd never ranked a website. I'd posted a couple videos to YouTube that were just my idiot drunk friends dancing at wedding parties and things like that. But beyond that, I had no experience really with getting stuff going online and getting organic traffic to it. So, yeah, the only place you can start is where you are, and the only failure is to not actually start. So just work with what you got and start putting your head down and getting through things. I mean, 3 years ago, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff, and I'm pretty adept at that stuff now. I mean, we recovered a site that broke in a matter of minutes today, and digging around in cPanel with hosting situations and all sorts of advanced SEO. You'll get there, but as long as you stick with it. Like I said, the only thing that will prevent you from getting there is actually starting and just saying, it is what it is. I got to get going. I got to figure out, how I'm going to get to that next breakthrough and put this information to use.
Absolutely. Guys, I'll keep saying this, and then I'll move to the next question. You control traffic. You control the money on the internet. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if you're selling client SEO, products, books, bananas. It doesn't matter if you're selling cars. What's the key ingredient that all of them need to get sold? Traffic. You control the traffic. You control the money. It's literally the blood that pumps through the heart of everything. So just remember that. You learn to control that, you control everything. We got a client SOS here from Jennifer. She says, my new client has an old website with a 301 redirect set up to the old homepage to the new site. The internal pages do not have redirects set up, and some of them are ranking on page 1. From an SEO perspective, would it make more sense to 301 redirect the internal pages or use the old site like a very good PBN? Uh, I have to really stop and think about that. When I read things, it just doesn't register right. If you guys want to jump in while I'm trying to untangle what she's just wrote here and like reread it again. So it seems like that she's got an old site that was redirected into the new homepage that she's worried about. Some of the internal pages are outranking the other site. I don't know how that could happen if she's 301'd it into the new page.
Well, unless she's saying she just 301'd the homepage and not
it says my new client has an old website with a 301 redirects. You know what? Bring her on, Joe. This is a hot seat. This is why. Yeah, bring her on. This is a hot seat right here.
What's her name?
Jennifer, and her last name is Gabhart, and I know I said that wrong. She's going to correct me.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Let's see if she's got a mic.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you great. So explain to us the situation a little bit clearer. We'd love to be able to help you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. It's a 301 redirect that a prior company set up, and they only redirected the home page. They didn't redirect any of the internal pages. So, now there's still these internal pages floating around that are ranking on the old site, and there's still content. The whole old site is still up. But if you navigate to the home page of the old site, it redirects you to the new site.
Do you have access to the old site?
I should be able to get access, yes.
Okay, then why just wouldn't you 301 everything over to the new site? Be done.
That was my question. I didn't know if that was the best way to go from getting the most juice out of it, or if it would make more sense to keep them separate and send links with anchor text to the new site.
I think a 301 is going to be a whole lot more effective than a PBN. Wouldn't you agree, Fletch and Joe?
Yeah, go ahead and 301 those over. Any other strategy is going to be more complicated and just not much more effective.
Yeah. A couple clicks, you're going to be done. So just forward everything over to the other site and be done.
Okay, sounds good.
There you go. Glad we were able to figure that out. Great. Next one, it says SEO companies manage multiple accounts. How is what an agency does different than the concern we have as individual footprints? It isn't. So I think I just answered your question pretty quickly there. Some like times I got to read these questions 2 or 3 times. It says here, hey Cotton, Killer Wubby last week. Go easy this week. I'm wearing white pants. It says, is a preferred rate to build PBN links to a money site 1 week as 1 to 2 or 3 a week? I'm going to be honest with you. And you know what? I'd like to get these guys. I've never really even talked to them about that, but I'm like very random. 1 every 2 days, 3 days, 1 day, 5 days, 4 days. It's always different. It's just random of how I set it up and how I like link out to like things when I do it. Fletch, what about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing, Cotton. I mean, I'll even build 2 or 3 links in the same day, knowing that Google will probably pick them up on different days.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't ping my links or force index them, and I just let them get picked up naturally. So I don't really think that much about it. I just kind of build them as you see fit.
Exactly. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same thing. I think for me, if it's a new site or something new, I'll spread them out a little further. But once it gets some age, I'll just usually put one on when it looks like it needs it. Like I won't usually drop like 5 all at once if it's a new site. I'll spread them out like every couple of weeks or something like that.
Great. The next question is a very good one. What is a hashtag? Well, if you're old enough, like I am, you will know that the hashtag used to be the number sign. Now it's the hashtag. So somehow over the last decade, it went from number sign to hashtag. So it's a number sign in your word. That's what the hashtag is. Don't you remember that, Fletch, when it used to be the number sign?
Very clearly. It was underneath the 9, I believe. Yeah, or 7.
Or it was called the pound sign. Was it the pound sign?
Pound.
Yeah, pound as well. Then it's went through some changes. Number, pound, now hash. You're right, Joe. You're right. people want to know, what is the best source for citations for clients? I'll let Joe and Fletch answer that, and I'll follow up.
For me, like getting citations, usually I have my outsourcers that build them for me. And we do have training on that. I know Steven's doing some new training on citations, but we do have some on how we find citations in the Iowa City SEO 2015, if you want to take a look at that. Sure.
There's go ahead, Fletch. We'll let you go next.
As far as citations go, there's an SEO benefit that kind of is across the brand. Mentions have a slight effect. They pretty much only have meaning in the maps for the most part for ranking maps listings. So,
yeah, I've been using quite a bit of Moz Local lately, and they seem to be working pretty well and inexpensive. So I've been using them a little bit, and then there's some other sources that I'm going to keep to myself because it'll get overwhelmed, and then I won't get my stuff done as quickly if I send everyone over there. So we'll just leave it at that. The next question is, Cotton, what is your motivation to continue looking for the next level? When money is not the main motivation, what is a motivation for an SEO company owner that will lead him to get the next to the infinite and beyond? Fletch and I love talking about this kind of stuff, and one of it is I still believe in my mind that I'm dead broke. And I still believe that at any moment there's that I literally feel like I'm being chased. And I wake up some mornings with the same feverish desire that I did 2 years ago. Scared, broke, and more so scared that I'll go back to where I was 2 years ago. And I don't ever want to get back to that point. And the only thing that can get me back to where I was 2 years ago is me. And I know that if I wake up, I don't take anything for granted. I can't stand bragging about success. I can't stand throwing materialistic things in people's faces. It doesn't mean anything. What it means at the end of the day is how many people you can help, and literally scared out of my wits to be back to where I was with no money. And that's literally what drives me every day. I literally don't sit around and revel in my success. I think that's ridiculous. Even one of the first things is I always think is, how can we keep improving? What boundaries can we keep pushing? How many people can we change? How many people can we help? And when you look at it at that level, it's really easy. And Fletch, I'll let you give a go at this because this is almost like we're back on a motivational webinar.
Yeah, we do that a lot, Cotton. I mean, yeah. I could have said exactly what you did. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about being broke. That it's still real to me. It's still a picture of me in the attic is something that I live with, and I don't know that it'll ever go away. It keeps me on point. It keeps me making sure that I do what I need to do every day to not be back there. And getting that phone call from Natalie about our water getting turned off, that was misery. And I just don't want to do that anymore. So beyond money fixes a lot of problems. I don't care what anybody says. It's a lot easier to solve problems if you have money. And, really the only problem I had in my life after, meeting my wife and having the family I have now was a shortage of money. So, I mean, I don't know that a pursuit of money will ever go away from me. And not that I chase it to the point where I'm miserable. I have never been miserable chasing money. It feels pretty good to make it, quite frankly. So, I don't know that enough is ever enough. It feels good to help people. I don't ever make money by, cheating somebody out of something. So somebody else is better every time I make money. That's kind of how I look at it.
Fletch, wouldn't you agree that it's almost, and I don't want to minimalize that things are, but it almost seems like a video game at this point, to where, I'm not sitting around looking at money, but it's just how far can we go? And I know that kind of sounds stupid, or maybe you might not be able to relate, but I just look at it as, man, I got to hit this. That's the next level. And then as soon as I hit that, I'm always just asking, what's the next level? It's like a video game to me at this point. And, that's just how I look at it. Helping people on the way always makes it better.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, once you you get a few things figured out, you've got the rule book then. I mean, now all I got to do is just play more often, and I get further ahead. So, yeah, each time I kind of see a different way to approach a problem, or either a problem I have or a problem that businesses have, it opens up a whole nother level of income as well as just kind of meaning for what I do in my business and my life. So, yeah, it's fun at this point. I'm certainly not broke, but I feel that way. Every month we get a little further ahead, and every time I kind of learn something new or a new application of SEO or traffic, for that matter, I get to help more people. So, yeah, it's a really nice path to be on. I don't see really the end of it. I think this is just the way. I'll stay in the way for as long as I can see in the future of helping worthy causes or businesses get traffic.
Sure, I totally agree with you. Joe, I'm going to wake you up and give you the next question. It's a very interesting one. I've got some data to follow up how you handle this. It says, I have run a few FCS networker campaigns to power up my tier 1 links. Some of them ended up posting more articles than I expected. Provided my content is relevant, the anchors are market level and are varied, will having a lot of tier 2 links be okay?
Yeah, if I understand the question right, I mean, he had a few more links than he expected from the same blog. So say he has, his one blogger account, and he has 2 pages with 2 links going to the same site with different anchor text. I mean, I think that's fine. I don't see a problem with that.
Sure. One of the other things that I want to bring up, because I don't know when this might get brought up, is Greg and I decided to go back and do some tests over the weekend. Him and I were talking about some movement on some things. And I normally do quite a bit of social profiles to a site to kind of shield it around. And we wanted to see the impact that it created. And I did about 130 social profiles around one inner URL on one of our test sites. And we went back and looked, and after about 6 or 7 of these, I noticed that of about 130 of these social profiles, that really only about 13 to about 20 were getting indexed. And that was over letting them sit for, I don't know, probably about 3 or 4 months and then getting that. So the answer to your question is I think you're going to be fine. What really matters is how many get indexed. That's what really matters. You can build as many links as you want. If they don't get indexed, it's kind of irrelevant. Google never finds them. So with that, just remember, just because you go out and you build a lot of these social profiles, it's not guaranteed that they're all going to get indexed. So we've been trying to come up with, now my main research over the last 14 days has been the best and the quickest and safest way to get as many social profiles indexed. And I found a way to where I was able to take that 15 to 20 and bump it up to 54, but it's just the first run. We need to get it about 10 times in a row before we get that, and then we'll share that back to OMG. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, as Joe said. Next question is, it says, a competitor created a duplicated version of my website, the same content with my company name as well, then a link back to my site. This is very easy for me to answer because my website is created so much and people steal so much from it with the discovery form and other stuff. The general rule is that the website that has the most domain authority owns the content. So that'll always be mine. So when they come through and get spanked, they're the ones that's going to get hit, not me. Isn't that right, Fletch? For Joe?
Yeah, I've had my site ripped off a handful of times. Same exact thing. Never hurts ranking. If they leave it up, I would spam it and push Jews to your site if they got a link to it. Quite frankly.
Well, I mean, that happened to me once where a guy actually, they mimicked my site somehow, and they were linking back to my site, but their link was it was a crappy site, right? And like it was a bad link. It was actually hurting my site. So I found out who it was registered with. It was registered with GoDaddy, and I got in contact with them, and they took the site down because it was straight copywriting. But chances of that being able to do that all the time is probably not that high. But
yeah, I like Fletch's idea. You can go to Fiverr. There's a lot of GSA gigs there, and just send some links. Send some links to your site. Just hit them up. That's what it is. I'm sure they'd appreciate it too. So definitely. Next one is yes, guys. So you don't have to ask this question for all of 2016. We record every webinar barring their technical difficulty. So guys, just so everyone knows, I want to make sure, give me hashtag always replay. Always replay. We get this question 140 times a week. I get it in my inbox and everything. Just so everyone's clear, let's just do hashtag always replay. There is one exception, guys, that there will not always be a replay. If you see a ghost webinar, for those of you that are new, if you see a ghost webinar, they will absolutely never be recorded, ever. There will never be a replay. Those are ones and dones. Those are webinars that I do at the spur of the moment. Come on. It's like we're inside my living room. We have a chat. We talk about some crazy stuff, and that's it. We just leave it there. We let it all out there. Fletch and I have actually did motivational ghost webinars where it's not recorded. So always a replay unless it's a ghost webinar. Ghost webinars are bonus outside what you're guaranteed to get as a member. So just remember that always. It says, how much would you charge for SEO for moving companies? We would have to know a whole lot more information than that. We would have to know, the difficulty of the keyword. With me, I do client work a little bit differently than everyone else. I need to know the time, resources, and energy that it's going to take me to finish that. So with that, that's too hard of a question for anyone to answer. If you want to message me with a little bit more personal information about it, I'll try to get to it before noon tomorrow and get you back a answer that we just couldn't go on here. Joe, it's time to bring on someone else with hot seat right here. Guys, what I want you to do is if you want to be on hot seat right now, hashtag hot seat. Joe will snatch you up and bring you on here. Fletch is ready to smack you around with some real good information.
Or even, we could look on the Facebook here, or let me see it. Kind of like know what they want to talk about. That helps out a little bit. If you've already been on hot seat before, we're not going to bring you on. We wanted someone new, somebody new. The guys, nobody wants to get on hot seat. Nobody. Come on, there's got to be some people that want to be on hot seat. There's got to be. You know what? We got. Who you got here, Joe? Maybe I got to refresh this. I don't know.
I don't know, man. There's a few people in here in the go-to webinar. Someone wants to know. That's a good question. How much notice do you give for ghost webinars? 1 hour. 1 hour notice for a ghost webinar. Spur of the moment. You miss it, you miss it. You get it, you get it.
Well, here's a guy. He says he's new. Peter Rodriguez.
Bring him on. Bring him on.
Let's bring him on. Let's
see. Get some new OMG love going around here.
Yeah. All right. Man, this thing's freezing up. Oh, let me see if I can.
It's all right. We got a lot of people on.
All right. There we go. Okay. Hey, Peter, you there?
Hello, guys. How are you?
Great. How about yourself?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. And thank you for inviting me to the hot seat. Well, I'm Peter. I'm a third officer on board of a ship right now.
Okay.
English is not my mother tongue. So, well, I'm learning a lot every day. So, I was just asking if somebody right now I cannot go out. I cannot find I feel the I don't know. I don't know anybody. I cannot go out. So I'm just learning from where I am, and I'm just asking if is it possible to apply this to another country, to a different language, for example, in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible if some of you have ranked some websites in Spanish,
Sure.
because I've seen. I want to share this with you. I've seen that Colombia, Argentina, South America is a gold mine.
Sure.
Because nobody is ranking there.
Right.
Nobody's ranking there. So I just want to know that. Yes.
Let me give you a question. So it's Spanish. It's not Portuguese. It's straight Spanish, right?
Sorry?
That's your language is straight Spanish?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
This is Spanish. I'm from Venezuela.
I'm going to give you a little trick I've never ever revealed before, and this is going to help a lot of you also. And this could scare some of you, or some of you are just, the light bulbs are going to start going off and going crazy. If you know last year, the number one thing that I told people to go out and do is to do a meetup for meetup.com. So what a lot of you don't know is if you speak another language, there are hotbeds of people in Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Miami, all through Texas, Arizona, everywhere where there's Spanish speaking people. And what I would do is I would set up a Spanish meetup. And what I would do is I would direct these guys to a webinar. I would not, but because you're on a ship, you can't get out anywhere. And this is where a lot of you can be sitting in your pajamas in Michigan and be selling in Dallas, Texas. If you set up a meetup and you target Spanish business owners, if you set up a webinar, you can get all these Spanish, but instead of them showing up to a location, a lot of people would be more than likely to join a webinar in the evening. You run that webinar just as you would the meetup, and you sell your people and you teach them. That's what I would do. How does that sound?
Wow, that sounds mind-blowing, and I just take notes.
Right.
I just take notes about that.
Right. Guys, if this is something that you think that you could do in your English-speaking land, give me hashtag hell yeah. So, and if you don't know about this training, get inside of OMG, go to meetup.com, and I want you to look. Guys, you can be directing people to webinars. Who the hell told you that you had to go to a restaurant and be there live? Who told you that? So you always got to think outside the box, especially when you get more business. So just think about it. You could go into a small area. Maybe, guys, here's what it is. New York City, Phoenix, and Chicago, and Miami, and Los Angeles, all these places. Think about some of these smaller cities. You know, how about Springfield, Missouri? You know, it's got about 150,000 people. They need SEO. You know, what about some of the state capitals? These are places where you can easily rank for that meetup. You could probably get 30, 40 people on a webinar, and you're probably going to get a deal. You don't even have to leave your house. You do these webinars anytime you want. So just think about that. So, Fletch, what do you think about that idea?
I was looking around for places that I can find English speakers here in the United States to put on a webinar. Right. Yeah,
exactly.
No, it's a killer idea. We kind of are breaking into some other countries at the moment, and I'm going to take that and use it for some of those situations. So, yeah, internationally, you actually, like poking around on Google especially, the competition in non-English speaking especially, and certainly in non-US based locations, is so much lower. But there's still that need. There's still a ton of people who are going on Google and looking for solutions to their problems. Sure. It's just a hot market that is really, it's a lot easier to get into than it is even in the US. So I would definitely take advantage of that. Yeah. It's an advantage that you have over everybody else. So go ahead and take advantage of that advantage. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, guys, for like those of you, that really aren't comfortable being in front of a lot of people, maybe it's easier looking at a screen, doing what I'm doing right now, and just, running the webinar that way. And guys, here's another thing that'll even blow your mind even further. Who the hell says you have to be on that webinar live? What you can do is you can record that webinar to where you're comfortable. And then when everyone shows up, all you got to do is hit play. How do they know? You don't have to do these hashtags like I am. You don't. So this is one way that you can alleviate the fear of meeting people doing that. But guys, you could get that up. So guys, if you like this idea, I want to see it. Give me hashtag mind blown if you like that idea. I want to see how many of you guys are going to try to utilize that and get back with me with an income report. I've been holding that one there for a while, waited for the right time to ask me a question. This seemed like the most appropriate place to help out someone who is stuck on a ship who doesn't know how to get out. So for those of you that have asked that question in India, those of you who have asked it that are in England, that is how you penetrate the U.S. market. You know, you can look like more an authority being on a webinar than you actually can holding one in a cafe or at a Starbucks. So, and there's nothing wrong with Starbucks. I think they're fantastic, or a restaurant or anywhere else. You can do the webinars. And, you know, you can have a little slideshow, pre-record it, play it, and you're going to be good to go. So hopefully that helps you out. And I'd love to hear the success with people of how they've had with that when they do that. I've actually tested this and I've had a tremendous amount of success with it. Tremendous amount of success. So next one is, it says here, this is funny. Since Cotton is ranking for Orlando SEO, what do you suggest I try to rank for my Orlando SEO agency in Orlando with Cotton killing it? Guys, I'm number one in Chicago, and we had at one point had 3 OMGers ranking in top 10 in Chicago. Every person on that page one was making over $15,000 to $20,000 a month. So just because you're number one doesn't mean anything. Credibility can come in many, many, many different ways. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you, there's several cities that I rank number one in. I haven't got a phone call in months. So being number one doesn't mean anything. You know, credibility is what it brings you. It does. You're still going to have to go out and get your name out there, but you can absolutely make money being on page one. Wouldn't you agree, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree for sure.
Mm-hmm. Good. Joe, the next question is, someone really wants to know is, when is YouTube 101 going to hit?
It should be in the next few days. So I got a lot of the videos together, and I'll be getting them over to David pretty soon.
Great.
And I mean, and right now we do have a lot of YouTube videos there. I have the YouTube section, and then if they look further down on the right-hand side, there's a ClickBank section. And in both of those areas, I talk extensively about YouTube, setting it up, keyword research, and all that.
Mm-hmm. And Suzanne McDowell wants to know, was I comparing Amazon to tampons? No, I was simply stating that you can buy tampons from Amazon. So SmackDow just made a debut. You know what? See if you can bring on SmackDow. I bet she's going to dip out. Bring her on, Joe.
All right.
You heard her last night. We'll answer a few more questions. It says, people said, so Amazon is for chicks. I had never said that. It says, Cotton, I see you. What's up, Smack?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Did you want to know if I was comparing Amazon to tampons?
Well, it was a little bit, you were dissing us a little bit, Cotton, and you've got to remember that I play both sides. I do SEO too.
Yeah, and
we need to love each other.
I hold strong with my statement. You want to make money the fastest? Do SEO. You know I've always held that stance. So, but I appreciate it. Guys, if you want to hear more of Deputy SmackDow, she will be on Saturday. Is that right?
Yes, Saturday at 3 p.m.
And Tuesday again. So Tuesdays and Saturdays, you will get to hear Deputy. She is a deputy of Amazonville, and she is a very, very heavy hand of the law over there. So if you cross the line, you will be meeting Smack right dead in the eyes. Isn't that right?
Well, I don't think I'm that mean.
No, you're not mean. You're all business. You're very successful.
Keep people honest.
There you go. You keep me honest. That's why I love you. You know that, right?
Yes, and I love you too, Cotton.
Good. Great. It's always good to hear from Suzanne. Guys, listen, you know what I want to do? I want you guys to really thank Suzanne, because what she does is that she literally gives her spare time here to help OMGers. She's not getting paid, literally. She comes on here and she ultimately gives her time because she cares about people. She does not have to do this. Guys, please, I want all of you to just say thanks. Thanks, smack. We'll just do it that way. You know, she almost makes every assimilation tour. She's helpful. She's always around. She's always been a good friend to me. And she's always an incredible asset to OMG. So if there's anyone that I would have given an MVP award, remember, I get paid off OMG, so does Fletch, so does, we're all partners of OMG. Suzanne does it for the love of OMGers. I would have given her probably the MVP last year for the number one OMGer that literally cares and has helped more people than anyone. So you've got a record on here that I'm like saying thank you, and we appreciate everything you do.
That's so exciting, Cotton. I've never been an MVP of anything before. That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, you are my MVP for 2015 for helping out OMG. So you've been a tremendous amount of help. You've helped a tremendous amount of members. So for that, we thank you. Right, Joe? Right, Fletch?
I thought I was the MVP.
You get paid to be the MVP.
No, Suzanne's great. I love Suzanne. She's always there to answer questions, even for me. Sometimes I ask her some questions and about Amazon, different things. So no, she's an excellent help.
Sure.
And she is actually the best salt shot glasses that I have ever encountered in my life.
Are you still selling those?
Well, they hopefully got to the port in Boston yesterday. I've had nightmares with the Pakistanis over these, but yeah, I should have thousands more flooding Amazon shortly. If I can figure out how to borrow a truck to rent them to pick them up at the port.
If you need me to come and help you out, Suzanne, I'll drive my truck over there and get them.
Yeah,
absolutely. As long as you bring Natalie, Fletch. As long as you bring Natalie.
Guys, she has these crazy shot glasses that are literally the coolest thing ever. They're like made out of what? Salt, right?
Himalayan sea salt. Yep.
And they last. Like, how many shots can you get out of one glass?
I think Fletch did 10 one night.
So
we don't need to talk about it.
So they're meant to use. So they're meant to use with tequila, and
we've gone like 40. I've gotten like 40 in one, and it's still going.
There's a picture of them right here. Chris Cash put a picture of them up right here, right on the screen. So these are it right there. So definitely, and they were very, very, very cool. So. Can these also go in the freezer and come out cold?
They can go in the freezer. You can also warm them.
Wow.
It's a great thing if you want to make salted caramel sauce.
Oh, sure.
You use them for a butter dish. But, they can withstand extremes of heat as well. They're really cool. But they're a real pain in the neck. Most of the ones on the market are actually made in China. They just export the salt. And dealing with the Pakistanis, I know why. But mine are made within 60 miles of the salt mine. Hand-carved and shipped over, but I'm going to need to order my Christmas ones next April in order to make sure I get them by Christmas, because dealing with these guys it makes the Chinese look amazing.
Right. Well, thank you. We look forward to those coming out, and once again, thank you for everything you do. We look forward to hearing if you are new to Amazon and you want to find out how to get started, then you need to attend Saturday. That's where you got to go. So they're going to break it down for anyone to understand that if there's no clue where to start, they're going to go wind it all the way back to the very beginning. So you guys are going to have a lot of fun doing that. I'm sure that you and Liz are doing that together, right?
Yep, on Saturday.
Great. And then Tuesdays are basically newbie to mid-level Amazon stuff, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun last night. Anybody who was on it, I think there was a lot of laughter. You sort of get the sense of the way we all are. We had fun. But it was David Fripp, Ty, Liz, and myself. So we went a little bit off the reservation.
Good, sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for your continued service for OMGers. I'm sure that you'll be just as valuable to us.
My pleasure, and I can't wait to hear your bombs tonight.
Thank you. All right, guys, we are going to wrap up the questions here. Guys, how many of you are absolutely ready to take 2016 on and do it? Give me hashtag ready, guys, because we're going to get this fired up. Joe is literally going to burn through this. And what we're going to do, guys, is this is a encore of one of our OMG live lessons. We felt that it was absolutely too valuable to leave out. So I know a lot of you goes, man, I went to OMG Live there, but hey, you guys have got an incredible head start on everybody, but this is something that is too powerful for us to leave out. First thing I want to go over with, guys, is I'm going to set this up and I'm going to turn it over to Joe. One of the things, guys, is not a lot of things have changed in SEO up to this point, but there is one thing that's changed dramatically. Something that we've noticed is a site must have life right now before it maintains the number one position. In other words, if you want to pin it to the top, or if it's going to move things up. In other words, Google at this point wants to see who deserves that position. And right now, links are not enough. Google's added another element to that. Now, we've been hearing a lot of OMGers speculate on it and ask about it, but there has been no one I would challenge that has put in as much research as Joe and I into this particular thing. Greg's been testing it quite a bit. We've got his data back. It's just a pool of information that we've been using. Our special guest that we're going to introduce you here a little bit later has also been so kind to be very accommodating to us and to let us do quite a few things that we're going to show you about. But guys, how many of you remember when I showed you how I was able to rank a 47% keyword right here and have it at number 2 inside of 72 hours? I was able to do this, which is what is Rank Brain. I was also showed you where I never showed this, but I was able to come up here and go the ultimate guide to Google penalties right underneath Neil Patel, right underneath Maz, all these other people with absolutely zero PBNs, zero backlinks or anything. These two right here. It was my experiment. No PBN links. Guys, if you think that me holding the number one position in Chicago is simply magic, it's not. You have to fight and defend this. This site has dropped from number 1 at least 6 or 7 times over the last year. Fletch, you and I both know that every time that thing drops, we're like going, man, what happened? But it's happened quite a few times over the last 12 months, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, man. I actually got monitors on that thing, too, so I know what it does. Yeah, right. It's something that we've been paying attention to for a while now about what's happening there. Right?
Absolutely. Guys, here's another thing that I want to do a little experiment with you guys. And give me hashtag experiment if you want to be on a live experiment so I can prove to you how powerful this is, what I'm going to show you how to do. And then we're going to get into it a little bit deeper. Give me hashtag experiment. Because right now we're going to do a live experiment and I'm going to show you exactly what's going to happen. Exactly what's going to happen inside of 48 hours. I'd be shocked if it didn't happen. Because right now we have almost 600 people on this webinar. What I'd like for you to do, guys, is there's a method to my madness with this. I would like for you to open up Google and I want you to type in Orlando SEO and I want you to click on my website and I want you to leave it there for the webinar. I want you to leave it. I want all of you to do it. And then when you've done it, I want you to give me hashtag done. I want you to give me hashtag done. If we're lucky, this thing will be number 1 at the end of the webinar. So just do it. And when you've got it done, click on that. Just come here, click on it number 2, and just do hashtag done when you're done. I literally want to see how many people are going to do it. I want to prove to you what we're going to teach about tonight on an organic level and why it's so powerful. So with that, do that and do hashtag done. And I'll be watching those as I continue. Guys, what I really want to tell you is this. We have found through Joe, Greg, and I getting together, and Joe's got up hundreds. I think I've got up about 200, 300 to where we're testing what does the lifeblood of a site do to rank it, which is traffic. Traffic. So if the site's getting traffic, guys, I can tell you this, traffic nails down this site right here. Traffic is what ranked this with no links. Pure traffic right here. I haven't put any links at this. Traffic has ranked this right here. No links. Traffic will take this right up here. And I guarantee that I think it'll do it in 24 hours. Traffic keeps a penalized site in the map pack. And guys, literally what we're talking about right now is the most important thing in 2016 that you're going to be doing to your website is you are going to be adding traffic to your website. You're going to be adding traffic to your PBNs, and we're going to show you exactly how to do it. It's not as easy as you think. Joe's going to walk you through tonight a manual way that we can manipulate traffic and give it more attention to where Google looks at it differently. You just can't have your site sitting at number one. Guys, one of the most important things is when you take a number one position, Google wants to know that you're that prom queen that's holding that little rose up there. You got that little crown on your head, and that you're locking down that keyword and making everybody happy. There's only one way to do that. Guys, what happens if you didn't do your titles right or something else? Well, we found a way to manipulate this and to have live traffic, not robot traffic. I want to make sure that we're talking about this. This isn't robot traffic. These are actual people that are going to be doing this. Now, if you guys are freaking excited that we're going to show you at the end of 2 days how we're going to be able to teach you search and click, and how in many cases you can even rank with just search and click, I want to see you show me. I want to see you show me. There should be at least 600 show me's on here. Guys, it's called search and click. That's what we're going to go over. Search and click. And guys, you think that it's as easy as I described it, but tonight and tomorrow, we're going to get into some pretty complex ways it's taken Joe and I months and months to figure out. Different angles, different things. We've tested and failed many different things, but I can show you how this is literally so important to everything that we're doing in 2016. As much as you're going to build citations to a particular site, you must start sending it out with a little traffic. And I'm going to go over very, very quickly, and I'm going to expand out this in future simulations, and I'm going to hand it over to Joe. How do I build a website right now? It's pretty simple. I put up a website. The first thing I do is I build social profiles around it to rank my brand name. All I do is I want to rank my brand name. That's my main goal. I want to take my brand name to number one. That's first thing. I care about what I'm trying to rank it for. I don't care about Chicago SEO if I'm trying to rank there. I don't care about anywhere. I got to rank for my brand name first. If I don't, that's crazy. That's why I like going after brand names. I don't do EMDs, but you can. Then, after I've seen that I've got a few of these social profiles indexed, you know what I do? I start sending a little traffic in there on the brand name search. So because my site is Cotton Grammar, I would do a Cotton Grammar search and put some traffic going to that website. Now, do you see what happened, guys? Now, there's going to be another layer to this that we're going to teach you tomorrow that's going to be crazy, but think about that. Doesn't that seem more natural to you? Guys, if like this makes sense, give me hashtag natural. That like this sounds like something that Google would love. First, you got a website up. You're concentrating on the brand name. You're trying to rank for the brand name. Now you're number one for the brand name, or you're trying to rank for it. Now think about it, guys. If you're looking for tires, you're not putting in Orlando tires and then searching for it. Hell no. What you're doing is you're looking for Joe Marfolio's tires because someone's told you about it. So we'll get a little bit of traffic to it. just a little bit to make it look real. So what happens is you've got social profiles around it, and you got a little bit of traffic coming into it. Now, guys, doesn't that seem like the perfect storm to send to PBN? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Exactly. And that's what we're talking about. So, guys, if this just hasn't, like, if you don't have light bulbs going off right now, I don't know, but you guys should be going bananas with this. Like, Fletch, since you've added traffic, as we've shown it, what improvements have you seen?
Oh, it's huge, dude. I've got traffic over and above what I get naturally or organically on about 15 of my sites, and I may just seem like a dumb hillbilly, but I'm pretty scientific as far as statistics go, and there is a pretty massive difference in the amount of movement I see positively when I add organic traffic for keywords that I'm going after, or even related keywords.
Sure.
So yeah, it's pretty substantial, the difference you get in rankings with just people looking for your site and clicking through and doing some things when they're there, or sticking for a while, or whatever it might be.
Sure. Guys, let me ask you this. With just everything that I've said right now, did you not see why I told you this was going to change everything in 2016? We haven't even taught the lesson. I'm going to give it over to Joe right after this. If literally with what I've explained to you, I don't want you to hashtag this if you don't believe it. If you believe what I've just described to you is going to be a game changer for you, give me hashtag game changer with just what I've described. I want to see how many people believe with just what I've said that I didn't up-hype this webinar, that it's literally going to be a game changer. How we're going to show you how to do it manually. Then tomorrow we're going to show you how to automate it with the click of a button. If this is not going to be a game changer for you in 2016. So, Joe, they're flying in, my friend. They're like going so fast that it's slowing Facebook down. So with that, guys, have them rolling in, guys. I want Joe to get pumped up. If you believe that this is going to be a game changer for it, because I know it is. Guys, it has changed my rankings. It has helped me pin my number ones at the top of the search engines. I've had to fight for it. Believe me, it's Fletch and I know. Fletch and I talk about my sites a lot, and sometimes it's been a battle going on to where I was bumped out for 2 or 3 weeks and had to find ways to get back up in there. But guys, it would have never happened without this game changer. So what I'm going to do is Joe is going to give you an encore presentation of what happened at OMG Live and why you've seen so many people going freaking bananas. And guys, this wouldn't be possible if we didn't get clearance from the Commander-in-Chief, David Mills, and letting us release this lesson tonight from OMG Live. So I'd give a thanks to David Mills, because he said, hey, this is important enough. Everyone needs to know it. This is going to just blow up all of OMGers. Let's give it to him. So David was smart, and David's always smart. I don't know why he said he was smart on this. He always is. But he let it rip. So, David, I know you're listening because I see you in the audience. So there you go. We got the hashtag David Mills going. Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you, man. This is an encore of OMG Live. You had the people literally, that entrance that you did, Joe. I mean, if you remember that entrance that Joe did, that was Joe. When you seen everyone high-fiving everybody, that was Joe coming in there. He had a GoPro on his head. I'll get that posted back in the new members group so you can see it. But before Joe did that mind-bending lesson, he ran in, high-fived everyone. It was one of the most craziest SEO entrances ever. So, Joe, take her away, buddy. I know you're going to blow them away.
All right. Thanks, Con. Thanks for that intro. Let me make myself let me see if I can make myself the presenter here. And we got a lot of people on here.
Yeah, this is the most I've ever seen, 600 without it being free.
Yeah. All right. So, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
It's showing main screen. All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks, Cotton, for that intro. Cotton summarized a lot of stuff I'm going to be talking about. Like you said, this was something we talked about at OMG Live. We're going to try to condense a lot of it tonight, but don't worry if it goes over your head a little bit, especially if you're new, because we'll be talking about this throughout the year. I'll be breaking this down more and more on some of the hot seats, maybe do a couple modules on it. So this is basically going to be a big overview of what we've been doing, and it's not that complicated, and it's really very actionable. You can take a lot of action doing it. So let me just get right into it. So of course, search and click is what we're going to be talking about. A lot of you guys have probably heard this term before. Cotton explained it. It's basically searching the search engines and clicking on your website. So let me do this. All right. So basically with search and click, you could say, I kind of say it's like the new buzzword. You know, people talked about doing different things in SEO when it's video, linking, PBNs, and then every few years there's something that comes along that people just start talking about. And this is kind of like search and click. And like most things, people talk about it, but they might not have a full grasp on exactly what it is or how to do it correctly. I mean, I hear people talking about it all the time, and they're just dead wrong. And they'll either get no results or they'll get negative results if people follow the way they're doing it. You know, I've heard everything from search and click is so powerful that you don't even need links, right? You don't need links anymore. Just do search and click. You'll be number one for everything. You know, you can get your site re-indexed, right? Your site's de-indexed, no problem. You just do some search and click and it'll get indexed. It's the missing secret, right? It's the golden ticket, okay? And it is very powerful, but I don't know if it's quite the golden ticket where it's the only thing that you need. So the best way to kind of explain this is this little kangaroo right here. And before OMG Live, when I was going to my presentation, we were in a room, I was talking to Cotton, and I remember talking to him. I says, I have to explain, you know, exactly what search and click is. I was looking for a good picture that people could put in their mind, and he told me about this kangaroo. And if we look at this one kangaroo right here, he's a healthy kangaroo. If I just showed you this picture, you'd see, you know, he's a good-looking kangaroo. He's pretty healthy. I probably wouldn't want to get kicked by him, right? But then if I show you this, here's a kangaroo that's, you know, it's beefed up. It's on steroids. It's super strong.
That's right? A real kangaroo, too.
It's a real, dude.
You know what, Joe? We got to do it, man. We got to do #JackDeRoo, man. We got to. We could do it on G Live. I just have to. It's not going to make my night. I've already started it, guys. Please, just give me 10 of these things. I got to do #JackDeRoo because that thing looks like it could knock you out with feet or with a punch.
He looks like he's flexing in that picture.
All right, sorry to interrupt, man.
Yeah, no problem. So that's kind of what searching with traffic is going to your site, right? Before, you know, you have a site and your campaign and you're doing links and it's good, but when you add traffic, it's like adding steroids. It's like adding super juice, right, to your site where it just gives it immense power. But if you didn't have everything done correctly first, meaning that your site was set up correctly, that your on-page was done right, that you have your citations, that you have links going to it, that you have some authority on your site, you can send all the traffic in the world, you know, it's not going to do anything. So you have to have everything, all the basics covered, you know, and then you send traffic to it, boom, it's gonna super power it. So here's a couple of ways most people approach search and click, and it's wrong, right? And I think it's wrong. One is they search only for the main keyword, meaning that if you want to rank for San Diego plumbing, you know, you stick the keyword in, you know, you say, okay, let's do 1,000 searches for San Diego plumbing. Then you find the site, you know, if you're using like a micro worker, you know, you have them find the site, they click on the site, and they search multiple pages. Okay, a lot of people say, well, that's what you do because you're getting all this traffic to your site for your keyword, and that's great. You don't want to do this, and I'm going to explain why you don't want to do it in a little bit. But now, there's some people out there who really know what they're doing. Like, I call them ninjas, right? And they say, man, I'm ninja at search and click. I don't only do that, right? Search for the keyword 1,000 times. I'll search the keyword. I'll click on a competitor site and click off right away, which just does increases their bounce rate, which I'll explain a little later if you guys don't know what it is, right? And then so they'll go in, they'll basically put in San Diego plumbing. They'll click on like 3 sites, click off right away. Then they'll click on their site and go to multiple pages, and so it shows Google that your site is the most relevant because they clicked off these other ones, didn't find what they want, they found yours. Now this is a tactic that works, but it's a very basic tactic. And I put boom here because I could just imagine someone saying this and saying boom, that's all you do. But it's not all you do. Okay, that's just basically scratching the surface. So okay, and this basically just says how does this work or why doesn't it work, because it's ineffective. Sometimes it can be detrimental. You know, how do I know, right? How do I know what I'm talking about? How do I know more than a lot of people about search and click? Well, hold on a second. Here we go. All right, this thing's got I got it on some kind of thing here. Okay, so hold on, let me bring these things in here. All right, so I've been doing this for over 3 years. I've been doing search and click. And it started out, we were manipulating the search boxes where you could basically, this is a shot, it doesn't do this anymore. You can't even do this with the search box or suggested search anymore. But back 2-3 years ago, we were actually able to we got our clients in right there, right? As soon as someone was typing the keyword, our client would come up. Now, don't go looking for this site. He's not my client anymore. This is an old picture. But that's in the early days when we first started. I masterminded with a lot of people who this is all they did day in and day out. Like a friend of mine, William Patet, he had a company, Searchbox Marketing. So a lot of stuff I learned was testing we did back then. But now you might ask, well, why haven't you ever heard me talk about it on the webinars or in the Facebook group? Well, it's because it was something, one, I didn't want to get out there too much. Two, it was pretty complicated, and there were some holes in it that I didn't feel that I could teach people correctly where they can navigate the way I could, so it can cause a lot of issues or a lot of problems. That's why, like Cotton was saying, in the last 8 months, we've been doing a ton of masterminding, and we have a guest coming on that we've been talking with too. It's been helping us a lot, and we've been able to do so much testing I've never been able to do before, and we're going to explain why that is in a little bit. But it's able to and allowed us to really, really smooth out some of the holes to really get this to where almost anybody can do it. And again, I have this here. Don't share this outside the group, please. You guys have paid a lot of money to come into OMG. If you're in here, if you're listening to this webinar, so just don't give this stuff away, okay? Even if somebody's talking about it, you want it to sound like you know what you're doing, so you could tell them what to do, but please just don't do that. Keep it in the group. I've kept it to myself, and that's why even when people post stuff on it, I don't usually respond to it. So what are we going to cover tonight? Well, one, we're going to talk about how search and click can help with branding, and Cotton talked about this a little bit, and how when you're doing search and click, probably the most important thing or the biggest benefit you can have when you first started is building your brand, okay? Building the authority of your brand. And what we want to do is we want to actually connect our brand to our keyword. And if you guys are new, a brand is basically, if I'm, a junk removal guy in San Diego, I want to be known, as the best junk removal guy in San Diego, right? So we want to, and say my brand is 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Let's say that's my company. Everyone knows that company. So we want to tie junk removal, with like San Diego junk removal with our brand name, and that's what we can do. And we want to make our brand the most relevant in the search engines. Again, I go back to San Diego junk removal, who do you think of? You think of 1-800-GOT-JUNK, right, because they branded their keyword. Well, when you type in junk removal in any city, probably in the United States, they're going to come up, if not number 1, number 2, or number 3. Why? Because their brand is recognized, and people search it. We're also going to talk about how to move your websites into search engines, how to move our Google Marketplace, or the Map Pack or the Snack Pack or whatever it's called now, how we can move up in that. Also Bing and Yahoo, the importance they play, and Yelp. And then we're also going to be talking about video, how we could move video in not only YouTube, but also in Google. Now, if you guys have been in OMG for a while, we already did this. We kind of did a test, and you might not even been known that this was part of the testing that we were doing. So we did a test. I'm going to show you the results in a little while. And basically, a lot of OMGers participated in this, and they might not have even known. Next, it's PBNs. I got here that your PBNs have a chronic disease when you buy them. And we're going to be talking about what that disease is. They actually, my theory is when you buy a PBN, they have a lot of power, but they slowly start to die after you buy them. And don't get freaked out. Don't be like, what's he talking about? PBNs? No, PBNs are great, but I'm gonna follow up a little later, and you're gonna see exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. So let's go on. So now, if there's a theme to what I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be let's keep it natural. All right, not au naturel, but we want to keep it natural. Everything that we do in SEO is all about keeping it natural. All right, even the way you do links, the way we do our anchor text, everything fits inside an algorithm that Google has. And when we go outside that algorithm, up or down, right, our site gets noticed. So, for example, a bounce rate. Now, if you guys don't know what a bounce rate is, it's basically kind of like what I talked about a little bit before. If somebody searches for San Diego plumbing and they go to your site and they stay on your site for a few seconds and bounce off, meaning hit the back button and go back to the search engines, that's a bounce, and that's bad. Okay, and your bounce rate is measured in a percentage. The higher your percentage, the worse it is. Okay, so if you have a really bad site, your bounce rate could be at 90%. All right, now another ratio for search is time on site, meaning how long does someone stay on your site? Someone on your site for 10 seconds, even if they search 3 pages, are they only on your site for 30, 40 seconds? How long are they on your site? The general idea is the longer they're on your site, the better, right? Well, if they're only on my competitor's site for a minute and they're on my site for 2 minutes, great. Like 10 minutes, like if they're on my site for 10 or 15 minutes, well, all the better. Now, and again with bounce rate, well, if 90% is bad, well, 10% has got to be great, 5 or 10%. But here's what you have to think about, that if for a local business, say you're doing local SEO, the average bounce rate is 30 to 40%, okay, and you're at 10% or 5%, and the average time on site is 1.5 to 2 minutes, and your average time on site is 10 minutes, you're outside the bounds, okay? There's something not right here, okay? And so thinking that more is better is not always the case. You want to get in that sweet spot. You want to get in that sweet spot where your bounce rate is on the upper end. Maybe it's not 50%, maybe it's 30%. Your time on site, about 2 minutes. Because if you think about a local business, what happens? If I'm looking for a plumber, I come on their site, I find their number, I give it a call. Okay, so when I say keep it natural is whenever you do any campaign, that's what you want in the back of your mind. Natural. What are people normally doing? Natural. Okay? So, and a lot of times too with this is years ago, like I said, 3 years ago, you could do all kinds of stuff and get away with it. But the algorithms are getting smarter, okay? And they're getting smarter, so we have to get smarter. The other thing is how the site was found, right? What keywords were being used, where people came from. All right, so people go find your site from Google. Great. Well, where else did they come from? How did they get there? Did they come from Google? Did they come from Yahoo, Bing, Facebook? And that's another thing to remember. Like, if all your clicks are from Google, like all of a sudden you have 30 people visiting, you have 30 people visiting your site, 50 people visiting your site, then you have 800,000 people visiting from Google, and no uptick in Yahoo, no uptick in Bing, nobody coming from Yelp, nobody coming from Facebook. Again, it's not natural. All right, something's up here. Okay, so we want to incorporate kind of everything. We want to think about all that when we're doing our campaigns. And then another thing we're going to be talking about is tiered search campaign, kind of like tiered linking. So this is kind of, we're going to talk about that at the end. So let's go to the next one. So the first thing I want to talk about is branded search. Okay, and that's kind of what Cotton said. When people are looking for him, they type in his name, Cotton Grammar. And when the box I showed you before, where we used to do the search box, we used to manipulate the Insta search box. We did a lot of that by this branded search, because what we're doing is we're actually binding the keyword to our brand or our name. So what we're going to do is, the best way to demonstrate this is I'm basically going to pretend that I have this client. And this was, like I said, I did this a while ago, this presentation. So Perry Plumbing, the person I'm using, he could be in the spots I'm showing. Maybe not. He's not my client. He's actually just someone that I found on the internet before I did my presentation. So let's pretend that we have a client, and it's Perry Plumbing, and he's in San Diego. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we're going to move their site. How we're going to move it up on the search spot and the search engines, how we're going to move it up in the snack pack or in Google Maps, how we're even going to move them up in Yelp, Facebook. We know we just learned, Stephen Floyd just did a lesson on how important Facebook reviews are going to be. So we're going to be talking about, so we want to move our site up in that search engine that's coming up, and then also how to move their video up. So Perry Plumbing has all these things. And so we're going to look at it. So first thing we want to do is we want to do some research. Okay, so now I know the screen's probably a little small, but what this is we're doing some research. We want to see where are they ranking. So I typed in San Diego Plumbing. Looks like they're on page 2, and they're right here in the middle. So they're like let's say number 14. So they're not doing, they're not doing super great. And that's about it. So I looked back for them all the way back to like page 12 or page 15. I went back, and I didn't see any of their YouTube videos. I didn't see their Yelp listing, and I didn't see their Facebook page. Now again, if you've been with us for a while, you know that we don't just usually want one thing on page 1, our site, which is great. We want a few things. We want a YouTube video on there. We'd like to get another property like Facebook or something else up there, because that's really, we take over page 1. Again, it does a ton of our brand. And I think I missed a slide. Yeah. So I missed this slide, but basically what I'm showing here in this slide is where they rank in the Google Maps. So they weren't in the top 3, obviously, so I had to hit more maps. And it took me down. They're actually in position 8. So now our goal is going to be get them from position 8 in the maps up to number 1, 2, or 3. Get them from page 2 to page 1, all the way up to number 1, and then to get some of their other properties on page 1. Okay, so now how are we going to do that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to have to create some search recipes. Okay, and all right, so let me go
Joe,
here. All right,
while you're looking at that, I want to see how many of you guys understand everything right now. That I just want to see how many of you are with me. Give me a 9 if you're confused. You want us to slow it down a little bit more, give us a 5. 9 if you're following us good, 5 if we need to slow it down. So we're getting a lot of 9s, almost no 5s. So guys, for like those of you that are brand new to OMG, trust me, please do not get off. Go through the end of this training, because I promise you that tomorrow on the webinar, it is going to become so crystal clear. You're going to say, wow, it's that easy. Right, Joe?
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, exactly.
Just try to push through this. Try to understand as much as you can. Tomorrow, guys, Joe and I's responsibility is always to make things as easy as possible. So just calm down, just relax, and just try to get through it. We're going to show you how a baby can do this tomorrow. It's going to be easy for everyone. So, Joe, it looks like you're doing a fantastic job. Everyone understands, so please continue.
Yeah. Thanks, Cotton. And just like Cotton said, what I'm doing is basically a data dump right now. I'm giving you all the information, and even if you don't understand everything, tomorrow it's all going to start clicking. Like if you didn't have this information, and we talk about what we're going to talk about tomorrow, you might be a little lost. But if you just listen to this, even if you don't understand, tomorrow it's going to really, really click in. So, all right. So the first thing, this is just something I want to talk. The last thing about branding is why it's so important. Like this Perry Plumbing, you can't find their Facebook, the Yelp, the YouTube. They're nowhere to be found. Basically, what Google's saying is, Perry Plumbing is unimportant. If you're looking for a plumber in San Diego, Perry Plumbing is probably not a great selection. If you're on page 2, no one's even going to see you. Google and none of the search engines, they have no idea who Perry Plumbing is. So that's what we want to change. We want them to know. We want Perry Plumbing to stand out, number 1 in San Diego. So what we're going to do is, all right. So yeah. So. All right, let me go back here. All right, so here what I'm showing you here is, so in order to do that is we have what we call a recipe, and let me do this, and my slides are kind of cattywampus here. So what is a recipe? A recipe is basically we have what we call micro workers, or they're people that we pay a little bit of money, say 10 cents, 15 cents, 30 cents, to do a small task, a micro task. And what we do is we put these in a site. I'll show you the site a little later, and you list the tasks that you want, what you want them to do, and then they have to give you proof that they do it and everything else. So what we come up with is recipe. So a recipe would be go to Google and type in plumber San Diego. Then what you do is have them search and scroll up and down the page. So basically go to Google, search plumber San Diego, and is Perry Plumbing on page 1? Well, what are they going to do? They're going to look up, and they're going to look down the page. So just by them looking up and down the page, what is that? That's a natural action, okay? That's what somebody's would normally do. So really, just take note of what I just said, because normally people will say, look for plumber San Diego, and then find out page 2, whatever, and click on it. No, we want them to actually take that natural action. That's what they're going to do by us telling them, is he on page 1? We know he's not on page 1. Okay, so then if he's not on page 1, we say, then you will open a new tab in the same browser. So in the same browser, open a new tab, then type in plumber San Diego Perry Plumbing. And then they go through the process of, click on Perry Plumbing, and then follow different steps we give them, click on different pages or whatever. So that is one way that you're going to cement Perry Plumbing for that term, plumber San Diego. Now, there's another way you can do it, and I'm going to back up just a little bit here, is you could type in, just straight type in, have them type in Perry Plumbing San Diego. Now, when they type in Perry Plumbing San Diego, you can have them come down, and you would probably think, what do you want them to click on, right? You want them to click on the website. Okay, but that's, yeah, you want them to click on the website, but that's not the only thing you want them to click on. Okay, what you want them to click on is Yelp, or this BBB. You want them to click on some authority listings. Okay, so if someone searches Perry Plumbing San Diego, they click on Yelp. That Yelp has authority, right? So it's kind of cementing Perry Plumbing and San Diego. It's almost like getting a link from an authority site. When someone searches this keyword term and they click on an authority site, it gives this keyword weight. And you don't want them to say click on Yelp. Okay, then you want them to click over to your website. Well, you might want them to do that sometimes, but sometimes you want them to stop on Yelp, okay, and not click over, because what happens? Well, if someone's looking for a business and they look in Yelp, sometimes they may click to the site, sometimes they may stop at the site and make a phone call. Okay, so you want random, natural action. You don't want to be stuck in just one type of action. And you can do the same thing for, say, San Diego Plumbing, Perry Plumbing. All right, so let's go on. Here are an example of some recipes. Okay, so like we just talked about this, I just laid it out. Some people are more visual. I'm very visual, so I'm going to tell you right now, I don't make graphs like this for my recipes. I only did this for this presentation, so don't go out thinking you have to make all these charts. You don't. But basically, if we Google, like if the task is Google plumber San Diego, all right, so the keyword plumber San Diego, is Perry Plumbing on page 1? No, it's not. Okay, if it's not on page 1, open a new tab. All right, we tell them if it's not on page 1, open a new tab. There should be an arrow here. And then we tell them search San Diego Plumbing, then boom, click on Perry Plumbing, click on multiple pages. So they have two options depending on what happens to do. All right, so now that we have Perry Plumbing, we want to do a little bit of keyword search. Now, I kind of talked about this in the beginning. What kind of keyword volume are we getting? Okay, so plumber San Diego, we're getting 1,000 searches a month, give or take. All right, we got to take this kind of as a grain of salt, but we'll say, okay, the search volume is about 1,000 searches a month. So now, how do we want to attack this? If we use this keyword plumber San Diego, how are we going to go about this? Well, let's hit this. What we want to do is you want to start slow and then progressively move up. Think about it. If you start hitting that keyword, even if you do 40%, even if you do like 200 or 300, which is like 30%, I mean, does it seem natural out of nowhere that this site is all of a sudden you get 300 clicks and it's on page 2? It doesn't make any sense. So for that keyword, what you want to do is you want to start off real slow, 5 to 10%. I know you might be antsy. You might be like, oh, man, that's so little. I want to really pump it. You don't. You want to start slow. The other thing you want to think about is that you want to blend your keywords. I have blend keywords here because, if you search plumber San Diego in the keyword planner, and I think plumbing San Diego, you're going to get the same, 1,000 searches. Okay, because some of these searches are so closely related that Google almost views them as the same. So again, when someone's looking for a plumber, they might type in plumber San Diego, plumbing San Diego, plumber in San Diego, plumbing contractor in San Diego. So there's a lot of variations of keywords that you want to use, and you're probably going to be ranked the same for most of those keywords. So even if you just have a few searches per keyword, it's going to add up to a lot. Now, even when our site starts moving, you don't really want to exceed 30-40% of the volume. Okay, if the volume's 1,000 and you're getting 1,200 searches, no, that's not how it goes. Okay, so you kind of don't want to exceed 30-40% of the total volume. Now, another thing to keep in mind is when I was talking before about branded searches, you could do a lot of branded searches. Like if in the beginning, if you want to do some heavy searches, you want to do it with brand. So I would do Perry Plumbing. Okay, I would do Perry Plumbing San Diego. Like those would be a lot. I could even do, San Diego Plumber, Perry Plumbing. Okay, I can do that. Maybe not as much as Perry Plumbing and the other one, but you still can do a lot more of those because when you're doing that, you're branding the company. And if you do it the way I showed you, click on the Yelp, click on the Facebook, and those are almost just as important in the beginning as actually finding that keyword. because what you want to do is you want to create a buzz. All right, so the next thing is a Google Marketplace. I mean, this is just another kind of recipe. You know, search keyword Plumber San Diego. If it doesn't appear, have them click more places to show more. So where is that? What does that look like? So basically, they would put in Plumber San Diego, and they'd come down here and all right, it's not here. Okay, we know it's not there, so we say, well, if it's not in the top 3, click more places. And so what they're going to do is they're going to actually just click on more places, and that's going to drop down, and they're going to find your listing. So we do a search keyword Plumber San Diego. If it does not appear, have them click to show more places. Then click on the company, Perry Plumbing, and take an action. Okay? Again, remember, we're looking for natural. So we want them to take a natural action. A natural action is if they go on here and they search, they might hit more Google reviews, right? So and it would drop down and they would look at some of the reviews. So here's kind of a layout. This is kind of what a recipe would look like and some different actions. Okay, so that we're going to tell them go look for Plumber San Diego. Okay, go to Google, look up Plumber San Diego. Is Perry Plumbing in the top 3 snack pack? No. Click on search more places. Scroll down until you find the plumbing listing. Okay, click on the Perry Plumbing listing. Now they have some options. You know, click on more reviews. Okay, click on more reviews. Okay, and then scroll through the reviews and find Richard. Then click on the website tab and go to the website. Or you might say, click on more reviews, click on website tab, you know, click on multiple pages. You know, you might skip this all together. You might go right to here. You know, what if you could go and you say, okay, click on the listing, and you know, you just stop there. That's all you do. You don't do anything else, right? Well, you might say, well, you know, they got to do something else. No, because think about it. What percentage of people will find a listing on Google Places or Maps, right? They find a listing in Maps and they just call the phone, right? They call the number, right? That's a natural action. That's what happens a lot. What if you could have someone actually hit the phone call, right, and complete that action with a phone call? Wow. You know, there's all those different kinds of things that make it so much more powerful than just searching San Diego plumber, click on Perry Plumbing's listing, go to his website. Okay? That stuff will work a little bit, but it's not near as powerful as what I'm showing you right now. All right, this is just basically what I just said. Click through, repeat, and random. All right, so now here is all search engines count, meaning that Google is definitely the monster, right? 70%. And I'll tell you right where I got these numbers from. I got these numbers from the amount of use that each of these search engines get, right? So Google gets about 70% of the search traffic. Bing gets 20. Yahoo gets 10. So guess how I split up my campaigns? 70, 20, 10. Now again, that's not an exact number, okay? You want to keep it random. You want to keep it, give or take a little bit. But, these are some metrics that you want to stay in, okay, some boundaries. So don't, you got to give love to Bing and Yahoo, all right? Also Facebook and Yelp. Yelp has its own search engine, all right? Now, you could go in Yelp if your client if you're doing it for a client, he's got a good Yelp page. You can go in Yelp and you could search Yelp. Also, you can, when you search in Google and you go to Yelp, that's a signal also. But you also could search in Facebook. All these things are going to matter. But the top 3 are going to be Google, Bing, and Yahoo for sure. And all right, and then here, these again are just some recipes following along the same lines as what I've already talked about. Google Plumber San Diego Perry Plumbing. Click on the Yelp listing. Click on Perry Plumbing. Scroll down, meaning click on the listing for Perry Plumbing that should say not perryplumbing.com. click on Perry Plumbing's listing, scroll down, look up and down, then click on the listing and go to multiple pages. So something like this would look like, click on, you might tell them, click on the listing for Perry Plumbing and tell me what the second sentence in the third review is, right? So they got to kind of look for it, and they're spending time going up and down, doing some action like that, and then they click over to the site. Another one might be where Plumber San Diego, Perry Plumbing on page 1 or 2, no. Then what we do is we give a branded search, boom, and then we just follow some kind of different action. And again, these are just, I'm not going to go through all these. They're just basically some more recipes. And one thing you want to keep in mind, like this one here, like Facebook, like I said before, if you search San Diego Perry Plumbing, you click on Facebook, you scroll down to the post, you want them to do some action where they're looking at the post, and you want them to stay there. A percentage of your traffic, you want them to stay on these high authority sites. So you don't always want to click through. So, that's important to think about. Courtney, do you have something to say?
No, not at all. We can just blow through some of these recipes so we can.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to blow. This is one I want you guys to look at, though. Again, this has to do with taking action, and this isn't copy these recipes down, do them exactly like what I say. It's basically what you want to do is you want to just think about what's natural. Go on the site, fill out a contact box. Go on the site, watch a video. So you just want to do stuff that kind of sounds natural. So the next one I got is ranking with a video. Now, what this is this is an actual screenshot of Prescott SEO. If you guys search Prescott SEO, you're going to see a website. It's number 1, PrescottSEO.org, and this video. On both of these properties we created. Now, when the way we ranked this video, we ran no links to this video, and when we first started, I think this video was either on page 2 or 3, and this is something I did with Fletch. And if we go here, here's Fletch's post. Okay, so Fletch actually made that video. So if you watch it, it's an excellent video. And then what he did was he did a post in Facebook. This was part of an experiment we were doing. And he told them, go to Google and search for Prescott SEO, scroll through the results until you find our video, right? So they had to look up and down, look on the different pages, click on that result, watch the entire video, and please give us a thumbs up, write a comment or something, right? So we just wanted them to take an action on the video, and that was working. That was great. But then we wanted to up the ante a little bit, and Fletch put in here for extra credit, click on some of the social links in the description, and eventually click through to the main site, right? And so what this actually did was it created a lot of traffic to it, a lot of viral traffic to the video, but they were taking a lot of action. And, everyone that was doing it, they had real Google accounts, obviously. They had real Facebook. They were Twitter. So they were all doing random stuff. They were leaving comments. They were liking. Some were clicking the website. Some weren't. Some were clicking the Facebook page. Some were searching the search results, and guess what? They were clicking on the video, and they were also clicking on our website. And all that action went on, I don't know, man, it went on for quite a long time. I want to say that post was up for a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, that we were getting constant traffic to it, to where it pushed that video right up. Now, it moved around a little bit, went up, it went down. That's just how it goes, but it really eventually just pushed it way up to the top. So with video, this stuff is super powerful. It works the same in YouTube. Here's the video right there. It's got 2,000 views. These are all real views. We have our link right in there. We also have our other links like I was talking about. So again, ranking videos. If you guys have been doing SEO for a while, been doing video ranking, views, likes, and shares, right? Views, likes, and shares. 2-3 years ago, if you put a video up, you got a gig. There were bots you could buy, and there were different gigs you can get where you just got 1,000 views. Boom. So you just blasted that thing with a bunch of views. YouTube thought it was going viral. It was ranking. Everybody was happy. It was awesome. Okay. Well, it's not like that anymore. Okay? I mean, that worked a couple of years ago. Again, algorithms have changed. They become more sophisticated. We want to keep it natural. Does it make sense that 1,000 people watch your video and they're not even visiting a website and watching an embed or watching it, finding it in YouTube? They're just randomly getting a link. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's where click and search traffic becomes important, where they click on it and they search it, they click on it, then they watch it. Or it's on your website. They find your website, they watch it on your website or your PBN or something like that. So, that's when you're thinking about getting views, shares, and stuff. I wouldn't get any views and shares unless you're getting it through click and search or an embed, watching the embed or something like that. So now the next thing we're going to talk about, and I'm really firing through these slides, but the next thing we're going to talk about is PBN health. And this is what I talked about in the beginning, okay, about how your PBNs are dying. And again, we want to look at this through the eyes of natural, right? Like what's natural. When you buy your PBN or your private blog, or you're buying an authority blog for new people, and when you bought it, it's an expired domain, expired, but it has a lot of authority. Why? Because it's powerful links that are linking to it. Well, now if this site had authority and it had people linking to it, guess what else it had? Okay, it had traffic. Okay, it was a popular site. That's what gave it authority, and it has traffic. So now you rebuild this site, slap some blog posts on it, link out to your site, and leave it alone and don't ever look at it again. Well, guess what? It's kind of sitting there, and over time, it's going to start decaying, because if it's not the exact site, what's happening is people are going to hit the links that, like, there's sites that are linking to it. They're going to click those links, and they're going to see a different site, and they're going to leave, or they might not link to it anymore. But so what's happening is that the traffic is getting squeezed out. But really, the traffic is the lifeblood of your campaign. So that's what I want. Traffic is the lifeblood of everything that goes on. It's like, in our bodies, we have different members, we have different things, your hand, our feet, our legs, our organs. Nothing works without our blood, right? Well, nothing works without traffic. And this is actually a phrase that my friend Will, who I talked about in the beginning, he actually coined this phrase, so I don't want to steal it from him. But it's that links give you authority, so the links going to your site gives you that authority, but the traffic confirms that authority. If you're getting high-powered links and you're getting traffic, that confirms your authority. And it keeps your PBNs, really healthy. So how do you keep your PBNs healthy? What do? Well, you run tiered traffic campaigns. You run traffic through all your tiers, and you take different action. Now, if you guys are new, if you don't know what tiered campaigns are, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you the slide next, and I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed or confused because we're going to be showing you a lot of this stuff tomorrow. But here's what it would look like, okay? Here's your website right here, okay? Here's your PBN, okay? And your PBN links to your website. Maybe your PBN will link to your YouTube, maybe it'll link to your Yelp or different things. What these are the let's call these the authority sites that are linking to your PBN, that give your PBN authority, all right? So these are say this is a plumbing site. Well, say this is a site about the best plumbers or whatever, but these are some old-time links that are linking to your site. What we want to do is you want to start traffic, not a ton, you don't got to go crazy, but you want to get some traffic where they find this site, and then they click on a link, then they click over to your PBN, and then maybe they, well, here's what you want to do. Again, keeping natural, say you send 10 people to this site, okay? Well, maybe, 5 of those people or, 3 of those people stop right here. They don't move on, okay? Or, but then we move on to here, okay? So maybe, one of them stays here and doesn't move on. The rest of them, they click on a link. So maybe they click on your YouTube video, and then maybe they stop there, or maybe they click back to your main site. Maybe some people click right to your site. Maybe they click here and they stop. And then also you want to send traffic not only to these tiers, you want to send some traffic to here, then move it up to here and move it up to here. Same thing, send traffic to your different tiers and right here. So you don't want to just send traffic here. You want to send traffic to everything that's linking to your site. And what you're doing is you're just sending super juice or superpower through this whole entire campaign. So I don't know if that's if everyone understood that, Cotton.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We need to burn through a lot of stuff. I know we got a lot of people that are absolutely terrified right now. Guys, if you're terrified right now, give me an 8. If you're okay, give me a 1. Because I think a lot of people's freaking out right now because we're not following along. I seem to forgot this is an OMG live lesson, which is for out of a scale of 10, 8 to 10 above. We need to burn through a lot of these and get right to the main thing and then show these people because some people's panicking right now. They're like, man, this is too hard. I don't think I can do this. Trust me, guys. I'm telling you, before you get off this webinar, you're going to feel relieved. I promise you. I promise you. So I'm watching the people's comments and seeing stuff, and I'm for some reason, the question box is locked. I can't even get it to move right now. Is that happening to you, Joe?
No, I see him here. No, mine's moving, but
yeah.
Yeah. So people are saying they're
terrified. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I already know, dude. I having 6th sense. I know how people are feeling. I just know they do. So we need to burn through some of the slides and just get to exactly how the stuff is done.
This is the last slide. Yeah, Great. This is the end. So
Great.
This is pretty much the end. Again, guys, I know some people are like, I don't have time to do this. How are we going to do this? Again, don't worry about it, okay? There's a lot of different ways to do this. It looks more complicated than it actually is. All right? So how are you going to get this done? All right? Well, let me so one of the ways you can do this, all right? I'm not even going to show you this slide. Right? So how do you get this done is you can go to a site. Now, this is only one of the ways, okay? We have a whole other way we're going to show you tomorrow, and that's really what we perfected over the last 8 months. But, how do you get this done? How have I been doing this for 3 years? How was I doing it? I do it a little different now, but how do we get this done? Well, you go to a site like MicroWorkers where they have people who do things for a little bit of money, right? Micro money, like 15 cents. Okay, so then we go there. As you go in there, you sign up, and you want to do a campaign. Now, what you can do is if you're going to do a campaign, say we're going to do one for Perry Plumbing, and he's in the United States, so we can actually pick where we want the traffic to come from. So I'll choose United States. Sometimes, I'll choose United States, Canada, whatever. But, we want some North American traffic. You can't really drill down too much with MicroWorkers per city, so we got to take what we can get. So next is after we do that, it's going to drop down and it's going to ask us what kind of campaign do you want. So we got all these different campaigns that we can have. So what we want to choose is we want to choose search and click. Okay, so when you click search and click, it's going to ask you, what type do you want? We want search, so that means they're going to search something, Google or whatever. And then we want them to click at least 3 times. So we're going to have them to do at least 3 clicks. The disadvantage with MicroWorkers is when you're doing really deep links, you can only really go 3 deep. So that's a little bit of a problem. But so we go in here, so we look at here, so we say, all right, this task is going to take less than 3 minutes to finish. We want 50 people to do it, and we're going to pay 32 cents. So that's about what it costs. It's going to cost us 32 cents a click, so not exactly that cheap. So next, what we have to do is it's going to ask us to fill in what needs to be done, and then we're going to need proof because we can't just trust people are going to do it. We need proof that they do it. So right here, there's a little thing that says speed. This is how fast we want it to drip out. If you're going to do the speed, 1,000 is super fast. Basically, if you tell them to do 100 searches, those searches will be done in 30 minutes. But if you want to drip it out, you have to go down to 50, and then see how fast they're going, and then slowly move it up. All right. So next, what does it look like? Okay. What do we expect from a worker? Okay. So here's an actual real campaign. We're going to clear. We tell them clear cache and history. then go to Google. Okay, we want them to, in case they searched with us before something else, we want them to start on a clean slate. Search for the term Perry Plumbing. Then we ask them a question: how many Facebook pages are found in the search results? So that's going to be their first proof. Okay, so they're going to tell us number 3. Then we tell them, return to the search box and now perform this search. Plumbing contractor San Diego. So we ask them. All they do is type in plumbing San Diego, and they do this search, and they don't do anything. They go back to the search box. Okay, and type in plumbing contractor San Diego, and the question is what is Perry Plumbing at in the maps? If the maps do not come up, switch over to Google Maps. So basically what we're doing is we're having them make that campaign, and we're asking for proof at the same time. And so I think I have just a couple in here, which is, here's one. This is actually a campaign for for SEO, where we're saying, go here, do this, go to Google. How many Facebook pages are on page 1? There's 0. Okay, great. And you just want them to take an action, and you want a little bit of proof. So, that's about it. I mean, I kind of buzzed through that pretty quick. But.
Sure. Guys, I know that a lot of you are a little overwhelmed right now, and I bet the number one question that you're going to have right now is, first, what we want to do is let's thank Joe. Joe, if you've got control, push the screen over to me. For some reason, mine's just spinning right now, and it's not getting back to me.
Oh, man.
Is yours too?
Wait, it's spinning right.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, Fletch might be able to give it to you. I can't. It's spinning right now.
No, guys, what I want you to do is I've got dual screens I can see. Go to the Facebook group. I want you to thank Joe. Joe put a lot of time into this presentation. Absolutely mind-bending. And I just want to get all the thanks coming in for Joe's right now. Then we're going to clear your mind. So just have them all come, guys. We got well over 600 people on this. And hold on. It's going to make me the presenter. And we're going to show my screen. So right here we are. Great. Can you see my screen, Joe?
Hold on. Let me get out of my thing here.
Fletch, can you see my screen, or Joe?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, you're good, Cod.
Great. Guys, I want you to thank Joe. Now, I see all of them coming in right here. Everyone's thanking Joe. And you're right, guys. This training is amazing. But be honest, guys. A lot of you are going, holy crap. How am I going to get this done? Now, guys, if you're wondering how you're going to get this done, I've seen a lot of things that, man, I got a day job. I can't do this. If you're wondering how you're going to get it done, just give me #wonder. Just give me #wonder if that's the biggest thing on your mind. Because we buzzed through it really quick. And honestly, if you're wondering #wonder, throw it on there. Because literally, and as you can see, you guys going, man. Guys, give me, and I want to see all these. Give me a 4 if everything looked a little hard to you. And give me 5 if it's just about right for you. There's a lot of wonders, and there's a lot of, we have experienced guys like Chris Morris seeing 5. He's going to understand it, but some of the new people might not. We have go for it, bitch, right here, Joe.
That was better than the other one, I tell you that.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, I promised you by the end of the webinar that we were going to make you feel calm about everything. Well, guys, Joe, we needed to show you exactly how to do it the way that's long. Something like PBNs, you have to know how to set up the hosting. You have to know how to this. You have to know how something works before you can literally go in and understand it. And we have half the OMGers on here that understood everything. But now I want to take it even easier. Guys, what if we had a push button system that does all of this for you, where all you had to do is push buttons? If you want your hands on this, I want you to give me #hands. That's all I want to see. If we got a push button system where even a grandma can figure out how to do this, literally, I want you to give me hashtag hands. That's all I want to see. And things are moving slow right now, but they're like coming in right now. I like literally, guys, I want you to get excited because literally we have that system. And here's what's crazy is for the last 6 or 7 months, we have been working with our mystery guest who's been on the webinar the entire time to make improvements. He's brilliant. He is literally one of the most incredible software makers that we have ran across. And tonight, we're going to introduce him to you, and he's going to be on the webinar tomorrow. And his name, you might as well fire up your mic, buddy. Fire up your mic. I've got a chance to spend a lot of time with him. We become great friends. The good story about him and I is we actually didn't get off to a good start about a couple years ago. And we actually kind of hated each other for a while. And it turns out that he's one of the coolest guys I was able to meet in 2015. He was incredible at OMG Live. He actually come help me celebrate my birthday. Guys, I want you to say hello to Dan Anton. And he is the creator of this software that we're going to go over. Dan, I'd like to welcome you. You're going to change a lot of lives over the next couple of days with what you've created.
Thanks, Con. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate that. I don't know if I ever hated you. You get two alpha males talking, and we don't really know each other back then, and it's funny how things end up.
Sure. But guys, Dan has created something, and I want you to get. This is going to be our hashtag mind blown. For those of you guys that are on assimilation, we always have a moment, guys, where there's literally a hashtag mind blown. What if you could literally go in here and do this easy? We name the campaign Cotton Orlando so we can sort it. We create a group for it. I put my URL in here, and I want to click that I want traffic to Google, Bing, and Yahoo. And I can even check to see if I want local keyword tracking and hit next step. Guys, it's literally that easy with human people doing it. If you want your hands on this, and it's closed right now. Dan has this service closed. If you want your hands on this service, I want you to give me hashtag mind blown. Because you're going to give me a hashtag mind blown part 2 because guess what? Dan is opening up the doors and you're not going to have to pay anything. We're not charging you anything tonight. Matter of fact, because Dan and I and Joe have developed such a great relationship together, and Dan is a huge fan of OMG, Dan has been willing to give you guys a generous amount of credits to get started, but only for those that are going to be live on tomorrow night. So, Dan, that's pretty generous of you. Are you sure you want to do this?
That's right. Yeah. I'm just accepting hashtags right now as payment, I guess.
Wow. Dan said that he'll take hashtags for payments. So, guys, we're not selling you anything tonight. We're opening up this service for you for you to be able to do it. Actually, my Twitter wall, my Facebook is going super, super slow here. Let me see if I can't bring this over here. This seems like it's moving faster. Here we go.
And I just want to say too is, this whole software really changed the whole game.
Right.
There's some campaigns that I couldn't do without this software, and it's not a. People might be thinking, oh, they're trying to sell something. It's really not. No. You don't have to. He's giving it away.
Yeah.
And if you want to do search and click, you can do it with microworkers. It's going to be way harder and way more money. We couldn't have done the testing we did without it. That's
sure.
For sure.
Dan, the cool thing is that Joe meeting you. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Meeting Joe at Live, we kind of talked a little bit about ways to improve crowd search, and I'm happy to say a lot of those things have been implemented, and we still talk quite a bit now about different things to do and try to stay on top of improving it for you guys. So that's something that's it's been good. I mean, I consider myself more of a problem solver than anything else, and people like Joe are in the trenches doing a lot of testing, and he comes to me and gives me great ideas all the time.
Sure. Dan, one thing that I want to send these people home with is right now is that these are all real people doing this as well, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's like mostly. I don't want to say these people do, but stay-at-home moms was my initial focus group. I didn't want to kind of market this to marketers because they're pretty savvy. The people are going to cheat the system and get behind proxies and this and that. So, I mean, I already block a decent amount of proxies out of the system because, I mean, you go back to CrowdSearch version alpha 3+ years ago that I created. I originally tried to do it with like proxies and, Indians and other bots and stuff like that, and it was complete trash. So I realized very quickly that was easy for Google to detect,
Sure. Guys, this is absolutely mind-bending that you can literally go over here and do this. Set up a campaign like this, and we can just go over it. Let me just put it right here and go to next step right here, and we'll let it run right here. But guys, literally that you can just enter in a few things, walk away and be done. Dan has built-in algorithms to give you the exact amount of traffic that you need. We're going to show you how to have this software running like a machine tomorrow. What Joe and I have been able to do to have you get set up. Guys, I'm telling you, even if you just started OMG, I promise you, you're going to be able to use this software. And Dan has been kind enough to let everyone live tomorrow on the webinar. We're going to give you a link. We're going to give you a password. And Dan's generous enough to give you a few generous amount of credits so you can get this stuff up and working and start sending traffic to your site. So, guys, you can still do it how Joe taught tonight. And we're going to twist Joe's arm and we're going to get him to do some modules about this and put it in OMG to do it the long way, because there is some things that you can do with Joe's, or you just might like to test out things. But guys, this is going to game change what you do. You're technically, after you're done with this webinar tomorrow, you're literally going to be an expert. Dan has literally spent 3 years of his life, as he said, modeling this software around so we could just go in and click buttons and just be done with it. Now, guys, if you're not mind blown by that, I don't know what could. And that's why I told you at the end of this webinar, with all the panic that some of you might have, that you would. So, guys, let's go back over here really quick and let me show you. Look at what it says. The Google search engines, I am #1 for this. Look, it even has rank trackers. It's showing that I'm not listed in Bing or anywhere. But literally what I can come down here is guys, we're going to go over a lot more. Just giving you a little sneak preview right now, guys. I can even go into and have people do it from wherever. Look at this. So I'm going to come in here and do United States. Because I'm in Florida, I want the traffic to come from, I want it to come from Florida. And then because I'm in Orlando, I want it to come from Orlando. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to do Orlando. And let me just scroll down here and get it. And, right here. And simply what I'm going to do is boom. I can either do maps. We're going to do a lot of this tomorrow. I can even add, guys, a lot of you have asked me, how do I do social? How do I get random social signals to my site? Well, look, you can even add 34 a month. You can add, mix it up, 31, this, that, even some shares here. And look, the smart rank, Dan's already got it into you. So what it is, Dan's got it set up perfectly. It tells me I just really need about 5 searches a month to keep that up there, getting going on there. That's going to nail it up there with a lot of this sort of stuff. Dan's got that algorithm built in there. So guys, if you want to learn this stuff tomorrow, literally, I want you to just blow it up and then say, give it to me. Hashtag give it to me. Because guys, no charge for tomorrow. This is what it's like being inside OMG, guys. My thing's going so slow right now. This is what it's like being inside of OMG, having the ultimate advantage, partnering up with some of the most brilliant minds in the world. Dan spent all these years developing this, and he's literally going to set you up and get you started to get traffic coming to your sites. So, guys, you should be ultimately excited. Hold on, I think this was it. There we go. Dan, as you can see, people are going bonkers over this.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna take. Yeah.
Right. Guys, I want you to.
I'm gonna go out of business giving all this away.
Guys, I like literally, guys, you got a lot of OMGers that are not in director's cut, that are not getting access to this webinar. Guys, I want you to rope your friends in and say, look, you got to be in on this, guys, because you can absolutely see if you're not doing this in 2016, that is going to hurt you tremendously. I didn't hype it up when I typed that webinar. Guys, all the assimilation webinars this year are going to be this mind-bending. So, guys, what I want to leave you with is Dan, I want you to kind of tell him a little bit about what we're going to give him here to end it out and get everyone excited about what we're going to give them tomorrow, what we're going to teach them tomorrow. And some of this stuff, guys, we haven't even shared all of it with you, how we show you how to use this software. You think you've seen other people use it this way, but you haven't. So, Dan, tell them a little bit about what we're going to leave them with and how long it took you and what your ideas was behind it, because this is literally one of the coolest things I've seen created for.
Thank you, God. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are going to see something that, I don't know, it's a product of maybe me having a little too much time on my hands or just being a complete SEO nerd. Some of you guys are so new that I don't even know if anything this might go over their heads in terms of some of the dialogue, but hopefully you enjoy it. It's just a little teaser kind of video that I put together to just show you what I really think about this tool. I'm proud of it, and it gets results for people, and that's the biggest thing for me, is getting results. So with that being said, let's go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we will drop the link in the group, guys. Literally, what I want you guys to do is I want you to watch this video right now. It's right here, guys. I want you to click on this link. I want you to watch this video, and I want you to comment below, comment on the YouTube video, and we will see you tomorrow night to give you entrance into this software and to give you a generous amount of credits to get started and teach you how we're going to blow away the competition in 2016. See you guys tomorrow.
Night, guys.
Bye.
Night.